And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Executive Vice President, Engineering and Operations, David Sangster, and Home Depot Distinguished Engineer, Dillon Tenbrink.
David.
Welcome aboard, man.
Thank you.
So, welcome to Nutanix, Dillon. I think it's your first one.
Not my first one, no, but it's incredible to see how this event has grown over the past many years that I've been coming.
Okay, great to have you here. So you're here because you're one of our great customers. And it may surprise you to know that I'm actually one of yours as well.
Really?
Mind if I tell a vignette about one of my more recent Home Depot experiences? Yeah, you guys want to hear it? It's called Hoverboards, Kids, and Christmas. What could go wrong? So you guys remember hoverboards were the rage a couple years back, and they were fun, and that was before they started exploding and burning down houses. But before they did that, they were actually kind of fun. And I guess against my wife's better judgment, I ended up buying a couple of hoverboards for my kids for Christmas. So that's kind of the first part. And you know how kids are. They figure these things out immediately, and within 10 minutes, they're whizzing around the house, right? Yep. My wife's yelling at them to slow down, and before you hurt yourself or break something. Well, they didn't hurt themselves, but they did break something. A big something.
Yeah.
A door, to be exact. So they're actually playing tag and slamming the door, behind themselves so they don't get caught. And naturally, one of my boys went through at full speed and took the door off at the hinges. Uh-oh. So they stop, and they look at me, because they know what's coming next. That's right, a trip to Home Depot. Because in our house, if you break it, you fix it, right? That's how it works. So off we went. And my boys are sort of experiential designers, so they don't take any plans or anything. And we had to go back and forth a few times before we finally kind of figured out. But we figured out, we got it sorted, and my wife was really happy. And as we sort of thought through the experience, a few things kind of came to mind. One was Home Depot has everything you need, right? They helped us solve a problem. And the store associates, man, they were fantastic. They took so much time to help our kids kind of figure it out, because I'm not helping them. They got to figure it out themselves. And they took pictures, and they were on their knees, and you need this screw and this hinge. They were super helpful. And it actually made it kind of a fun experience for us at the end of the day. So I'm hopeful that in some way, Nutanix has also provided been super helpful to you and sort of help you solve some problems in a fun way as well. So maybe you can tell us a story about one of your support experiences.
Yeah, I think the experience that you described there of coming into our store and interacting with our associates, excellent customer service is one of our core values at Home Depot, and it's one that our over 400,000 associates live every single day. And I think that's somewhere where you and I have a lot in common in terms of how our businesses operate. I can think back to many instances where we've reached out to Nutanix support, to your organization, and your team has been there with us all the way through, from the moment that we call to getting on the line, getting the expert technicians connected to our support and our engineering teams, and you stay with us until we reach a satisfactory conclusion, and then even the follow-up after to say, this is an agile world that we live in, and our support experiences feed directly back into the product backlog, much like those experiences you're talking about in the store. Things like our store maps, the idea that you pulled out the mobile app and you were able to look on the app and tell exactly which aisle and bin you need to go to find your product. That's a direct customer feedback type relationship, and I think for both of our organizations, that direct customer feedback is critical to an exceptional customer experience.
So, Dheeraj spoke this morning about the importance of customer success, right, in that whole journey. And I think we, as you mentioned, we share a common DNA in our obsession for customers. We spend a lot of time thinking about how to delight them, how to innovate various things, one-click upgrade on our end, and things of that nature. How do you use customer service as a differentiator in your business?
Well, our founders were fond of talking about customer service as a core hallmark of Home Depot. We have a saying, they started it over 30 years ago by saying that if we take care of our associates and our associates take care of our customers, then the business will take care of itself. And that's been largely true for the history of the company. And when you talk about how that plays from a technology standpoint, more and more we're seeing more data generated we just saw the presentation about IoT devices and the zettabytes of data that's being created. Well, nowadays, to provide an excellent customer experience, as a technology organization, we have to put that data at the forefront. We have to take all those assortments, all those pricing, all that catalog information, the millions of SKUs you can find at homedepot.com, and make that easily accessible to you, make it easily accessible to store associates, to drive our supply chain with it. So for each of us, whether it's Home Depot or if you're a company sitting in this audience tonight, technology is really moving from the back office that we used to stack servers and data centers to being critical path in your company's transformation and in your company's competitiveness in this modern both retail space and just the enterprise space.
And so you hit sort of an interesting high note. We heard from our Choice Hotel this morning that they're actually viewing themselves as less as a sort of hotel company and more as a technology company. And in fact, Morgan Stanley and a few other companies have commented on this, the fact that many companies now appear to be tech companies that are sort of, I wouldn't say masquerading, but sort of with a facade of something else. And so how do you sort of view that?
We see it very much the same way. I think a lot of times when I go out and I introduce myself to colleges or to family members, and I say I work at the Home Depot, and they're like, great, what department do you work in? And the answer is, well, no, actually I work in technology. I work in business enablement. And that's shown by some of the actions that we're taking right now. We're on a path to hire 1,000 new technology associates over the next 18 to 24 months. It really shows that the technology is becoming critical to our success. You see this in other companies happening as well, and it's really the adoption to take it back to that customer feedback. I've seen an incredible transformation inside of the Home Depot as we've moved from maybe a traditional IT shop to an agile IT shop, to a shop that depends on customer feedback. That customer feedback is critical for us to iterate quickly enough to get products out into the marketplace to be competitive.
And so, you know, the word, or the phrase digital transformation has been somewhat misused. Can you comment about some of the things you're doing on the back office side, DevOps, perhaps Agile you mentioned briefly, to sort of speed that journey of transformation for Home Depot?
Well, I mean, certainly one of the things when you talk about Agile and DevOps has been our core Nutanix foundation as well. The idea that we have an infrastructure that allows us to be Agile now, that allows us to really accelerate our transformation. You know, more than 90% of the software that drives our business is actually developed in-house by our own software engineers. And without the platforms that we have, without the key support that we have from a partner like Nutanix, without the transformation that we have to saying, how do we deliver products more quickly, how do we ingest customer feedback more quickly, we would not be successful today, and we would not be successful in the future.
Well, I think it goes both ways. I got to tell you, you've been both a tough and a really good customer for us. You've forced us to new heights. You've forced us to innovate more frequently than perhaps we might have liked. You've made us uncomfortable. I think all of that has resulted in a better product for you. It's helped you kind of scale your business, support your customers better. I want to thank you for all your help and you know, throughout the years that we've had. So I want to thank you for everything. Any last words for us to kind of think through here?
No, we appreciate the partnership as well, and I think for everybody in the room and talking about transformation, right? This is affecting us all as an industry right now. Take it as an opportunity. You see fast-moving companies like Nutanix, like Home Depot. Take the fact that this technology industry, the IT geeks in the back room are now moving to the forefront. Right. It's a tremendous opportunity for every one of us in this room, and we should totally take advantage of it. Thanks, David.
Thanks a bunch, man. Appreciate it, man.